things. Like, let's not sugarcoat shit here. Let's be adults and realize like this is reality. Some people are better than other people, but that doesn't mean that you can just sit in the fucking dark and not do nothing with yourself. You still have a beautiful body. You're still blessed with something that's amazing that you can mold yourself regardless of what you look like, regardless of what you may not look like. You still have a body. And to have that is a blessing in itself. So always remember that. I will never shit on somebody for just trying to be better and wanting to be better. All right? That's not what I'm saying. Some people just don't say that. But if you have a body, respect it, love it, and believe in it. And that's one of the beauties of it. So I should have brought some water. My fucking jaw's tired. Jesus. Got big ass cheeks if you can see that. But other than that, another thing out is my rest days. So this is one thing that people hate. People hate the rest days because they cannot not stay in the gym. And if you're a gym rat, I used to be a gym rat. I'm not gonna shit on you. I used to be in the gym every single fucking day, man. I used to be in the gym for probably 6 to 7 days just working out, probably because I didn't have nothing else to do. My life wasn't as exciting with doing stuff. And I mean, that's fine until you realize there's something like not right about it. It's just too much of anything is a bad thing, especially if you're trying to make certain type of gains or certain type of achievements. You need rest. And that's something Mike Mentzer put a lot of emphasis on and that he realized. And I kind of realized it before I actually knew about Mike Mentzer. Like, rest is very easy. It's just like one thing people don't talk about, nobody likes to talk about in this fitness world, is muscle memory. Muscle memory is a really big key factor that will keep you afloat with weight training in general, calisthenics, whatever you want. Your muscles remember the feeling. It remembers the stimuli. The weight, it just knows how to exert as much power or force that it needs to in order to produce that, in order to correlate your mind and your physiological system to produce the maximum output to lift the weight within a specific range of motion. And that's something that's big. And so what I'm going to get into that is muscle memory helped me a lot with a lot of things. It helped a lot of people with a lot of things. Why do you think there are some people who are probably 65 years old who haven't done weight training or calisthenics in a while? If you've seen those videos and they come back to it, they're like, oh, yeah, now I'm getting it. Now I remember. My body feels like I feel the same as I did because that's muscle memory. Your body will never forget that type of stimuli if you put your body through that type of training within a certain amount of time, probably for like years or something like that. Your body's not gonna forget that. Just like a fighter would forget how to throw a punch after years, like Mike Tyson would forget how to box or something like that. It's through constant training and development. Yes, you have to put in certain time for muscle memory to actually kick in. That's facts. It's just like it's not gonna kick in after like one day if you're doing something. Unless that one day did something crazy to your brain. But I never heard of an anomaly like that. I'm not going to doubt one either. But that's one thing that's going to keep you afloat. It's like you're not going to lose your gains. Your muscles aren't going to lose what they're going to lose. But it's not just muscle memory too. I'm gonna get in a little deeper about this on why people don't want to like leave the gym. It's like sometimes we probably just don't have nothing else that keeps our adrenaline afloat. That doesn't keep us going in that way. That doesn't keep us happy or at peace. I'm not saying that your life is shit. I'm not saying that. I'm not gonna be one of these red pill motherfuckers and just blackball everybody and shit. I'm not gonna do that. It's like it's no point. I'm just saying, it's just like I notice with a lot of people, it's just we like to go to things that give us the most adrenaline, that gives us the most rush, that lets us allow ourselves to have control over it. Weightlifting allows ourselves to have control over ourselves, to induce a certain type of stimuli that gets our heart pumping and our mind wondering, what will I look like? What can I be? and that makes you want to do it more and more and more. It's like sex. It's like taking drugs. It's like an addiction. And just like I said, too much of anything can be a bad thing. And that's why a lot of people don't want to take those days off, those 3 to 4 days, probably 5 days, if you need it. If you train that hard and you need about 5 days, that's why some people don't want to do it, because sometimes you don't have something else that gives you that direct type of stimuli that makes you feel that way. It's like a fast pleasure. And so you don't want to leave that behind. You don't know what to do with anything else in your life. Everything else becomes boring, especially if you have social media or something like that. If you see your favorite influencer and you see that they're doing something in the gym, it's like, oh, I want to do that. I want to keep doing that. I want to get better. It's just like some people have body dysmorphia. Some people just don't want to miss out or feel like they're missing out on life or in the gym. It's just like there's more to life than the gym. It's like there is way more. It's like there's a beautiful world out here. It's like don't leave yourself behind in the gym, because that's all the gym is, and that's what Mike Mentzer was trying to say. And I know there's a lot of shit going on, and maybe it's like the gym just is a place for home, and it always will be. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, if you want to spend your days in the gym, every single day in the gym, by all means do that. But always remember that there's always more to that. There's always you can do something more to that. You can go to school, you can read books, you can do something else. If you want to work out every day, by all means. I mean, shit, it's your fucking life, man. I'm not telling you what to do. I don't care to tell you what to do. You do you. But as long as you're making something out of yourself, whatever you feel, don't have to be a job or anything, shit. Man, you could sit in nature. As long as that makes you feel good, do you. I don't care. Just like, remember that don't get caught up in things, and don't get caught up with everybody else with the same type of stimuli, because that's the only thing that makes you feel good. It's just like there's always more. That's all I'm saying. It's like I'm not going to tell you what to do. It's like you're grown ass people out here. It's like I got my own life. I got shit I gotta do. So the fuck I look like telling you what to do. But other than that, I just had to say that. But the rest days, a lot of times not even a lot of times, every time I would listen to my body. You want to listen to your body when you do this. You have to listen to your body when you do any type of physical activity or anything. Whether if you have a coach or not, listen to your body. Your coach doesn't know better than you when it comes to listening to your body. You don't have to push through these pain thresholds and push through all this strain and everything. You don't. You don't have to. It's just like if your body needs to rest, if your mind needs to rest, then take the fucking rest. And you're not going to get any better without that rest. Rest is a big part. We're humans. We can endure a lot of shit. I've endured a lot of shit. I've done a lot of shit. But at the end of the day, if you need rest, and if I needed rest, I'm going to take my rest. It's like I'm not going to have this mentality, try to be like David Goggins or something like that, and just like, I got to push through constantly every single, like, no, bro. It's like I need to rest. But if I'm doing some type of 4K marathon or something like that, and I feel like I need to rest or something, I could push through those pain thresholds. There's knowing what you can allow yourself to do and what you're capable of that will really divide you from those who try to be like in this hustle culture constantly. And that's the truth. Just like I know what I'm capable of, I know what I can do, and I'm comfortable with that. It's just like I don't have to watch a fucking YouTube video to get some motivation and tell me what I'm capable of. I already know, because I understand my body, and I try to listen to myself, and I tell myself what's up, what I'm feeling and everything, because that's what's important. Nobody could be inside of my body, and nobody could have control of me and know what's better for me, than you. And that's what you have to pay attention to. Your rest days aren't just days for you to rest and just lollygag. A lot of times, rest days are days for you to go about your day and to listen to yourself, to study yourself, to study what you're feeling, to study the stimuli, study if you need to eat some more, if you need to rest some more, if you need to stretch some more, that's what your rest days are for. Your rest days are for realization days, the realizations. All right, and that's what you have to realize. It's like you're not gonna get anywhere if you just go about your time and try to reminisce and go through the same shit that everybody else does because that's what they do and that's what works for them. The principle of identity is called something that's just like basically it just means that everything is what it is. Humans are humans, females are females, and men are men. All right, we all have our different physiological systems and they work differently in certain ways, but we're all the same in a way. It feels like a contradiction, but that's what it is. I mean, a lot of shit in life is contradictory when you really think about it, and it feels like that. But you have to realize that our bodies respond in different ways, but in the same way. And it's weird, but you have to do some research on it. It's just like I can only tell you that, but you have to do certain work yourself. And that's something that helped me a lot. That helped me realize that like high intensity training will help me. It can help a lot of people, but sometimes it might not help a lot of people, and that's fine. But certain people have to have certain things already in tune that can help them with this type of training. If you know what I mean, just like you, I mean, you need eggs to make an omelet. So, but at the same time too, I was trying to make an analogy, but I can't. I just fucked it up. Let's try to make this analogy. Now I'm concerned. You can make a omelet out of eggs, but at the same time too, you can make an omelet out of egg whites. I guess I never seen it. I don't fucking know. I give up. But you know, if you know, you know. So basically, is that and my stretch and another thing too, my rest days, which is a big thing. If you watch my videos, if you watch my rest days videos, stretching. Stretching is a big fucking thing, and nobody wants to talk about it. Stretching is a big thing. I will never agree with anybody that says stretching don't do anything to you. I will never agree with you. I will never agree. You don't know shit about stretching and what it can really do for you unless you actually do it and then do so. I've seen people who don't stretch at all stretch for the first time and do a deep stretch and they feel like the most relief that they've ever felt. When you walk around constantly tight, that can affect you not just physically, but mentally as well. A lot of people who are angry and a lot of people who have problems and are tense a lot of times, they have a lot of tension in their muscles. It restricts blood flow and you need blood flow. You want blood flow, especially if you're lifting a lot of weight. That way, not only that you don't tear or strain any muscles, it's so your joints and your bones, basically bones, could move fluidly within a range of motion and having mobility and flexibility at the same time. Those are two different things. People want to get them mixed up. They are two different things, okay? And flexibility, basically, I just want to say flexibility is the extension and inducing range of motion within the muscle, and mobility is inducing a greater range of motion within the joint. All right, that's what they basically mean. And you want both of that, and you want that, especially doing this. I'm just gonna talk about doing this high intensity training. You want that because it'll allow you to lift longer. It'll allow you to not sustain any injuries, and it will on the rest days, which is really important. It will produce and allow those hormones and everything to flow within your body that are needed for you to recover. All those good hormones to flow through your blood systems. When your blood is constricted, when your blood vessels are constricted, the capillaries, then no, it's not gonna. A lot of blood flow isn't gonna flow, and a lot of those hormones aren't gonna get through as much as they need to. for you to be more relaxed and to allow yourself to grow within that time of you resting. It's just like you don't want to be constricted. You want to be loose. You want to be fluid. That's the thing. It's like you can tell when somebody's tense. They walk around like a motherfucking not to be racist, a motherfucking cholo in prison. Like they just here, they stuck. I've seen it a lot of times. Like they can't move. And just that's how it is. You don't want to be like that. You want to be fluid, and that's why I want to have good spinal rotation. I want to get to have a good mobility everywhere in my body so I can grow. And that's one thing that helped me grow a lot. That helped me stay afloat in this. Is stretching is a big thing. Just like, excuse me if I'm wrong. I didn't do the most research on this, but I just feel like I have to speak on this. Like the stretch within a workout, like if you're doing a preacher curl and you're coming here and you're allowing the stretch, it's just like, yeah, that's cool. And I don't doubt that. It's like I'll still do it, but I don't want to do it all the time. I just want to keep the tension. It's just like if the same concept of that stretch applies to me doing a stretch, a regular static stretch, of just stretching out my muscles, which will induce a greater length in the muscle belly, then why should I just allow myself to go through that constantly? It's like I don't want to. If that same principle applies to that same concept, if you know what I mean, then I don't want to do it. You don't have to do it all the time. It's just like I can do a regular type of stretching by just doing static stretching because sometimes I just don't want to go through that full range of motion. I want to keep the tension to pump as much blood. Just like correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not saying that I'm right. I like for somebody to, if you know, you know. Then that's what I just felt. It's just like it's the same concept. If that applies, then that applies. It's just like stretching is a big thing, and that's what you want to do, especially if you do this type of training. Just like rest when you need to. If you need and Mike Mentzer said it himself, if you need to rest about 3 days, probably 4 or 5 days, then by all means, do what your body feels. He tells you to discover your own body, discover your own method, but realize that a lot of all of this applies to human beings as humans themselves because we're different, but we're the same. And if this applies, then this applies. Then just do it and just be you, be an individual. That's the whole point of this training is to be an individual, to read his books. That's what he means. And that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of his words. A man is a fucking true mythic. Like, my God. And that's what you have to realize. But other than that, yeah, I already talked about food, listening to my body, how many rest days. I'll tell you how many rest days I need, stretching. I already went into that. Just had a big ass rant about that. And I mean, I'm pretty sure I pretty much talked about everything, but I'll just put one more in there. Kind of just been off topic a lot of times, but adaptability. How much you can adapt to this type of training. And adaptability ranges from, it comes up with many different variables, but the main variable I'm going to talk about is how much training, what have you done prior to doing this? And even though I already talked about it, I could probably touch up on something or say something that I haven't said yet. Adaptability. How much can your genetics adapt to this type of training? And I already talked about genetics, but genetics is within everything. When we talk about genetics, we always think about the top dog when we talk about genetics because that's all we think about. But no, genetics ranges from all types of genetics, and that's what I'm talking about. How much can your genetics allow you to be comfortable with this type of training, enough to be comfortable being uncomfortable with it? And what have you done before doing this? Have you done a lot of sports? Have you done type of swimming or something? Have you done anything physical that allow you to adapt to this type of training? So like growing up on a farm or something like that. It's like, what have you done? What type of training and stuff like that? And that will mean a lot, and that will add a lot more value to you doing this type of training, and it will add a lot more. Because as I said, this type of training isn't easy. It's not something just to throw yourself into. It takes time, and it takes time for you to know your body, how much you can adapt more. And that's one thing I felt while doing this. I adapted. I was already just going balls to the wall because I already built a strong foundation doing it. It's like I've done weight training for years, and I've done a lot more sports, even more than that, for years. And so I already had a good foundation. So I just kind of just did it. And the more I did it, the stronger I felt and the more adapted I felt after each time doing it. And I felt my muscle fiber density increase more and more and more because I just took momentum out and I just focused purely on contraction and strength. And even though I looked like I was moving kind of fast in some of those reps, I was contracting with full force. That's why sometimes I felt like I was about to cry because I was contracting with full force. And that's what I wanted to do. But other than that, I mean, adaptability is pretty much as it is. It's just like you want a good foundation before you start something, anything that's very physically demanding, not even just intensity. Not even just with this type of training. Because intensity is intensity, okay? A single can be intense. A double can be intense. RPEs are intense. It's just intensity is intensity. It's hard. It's going to feel like it's grueling. So anything that you do is going to require anything that requires a great significance of intensity will require you to have a strong foundation, regardless of whatever the fuck it is. Regardless if it's this high intensity training, swimming, or something like that, it's going to require that. Regardless, we're just gonna put the word intensity here and put all these other variables around it. Intensity and foundation here and put all these other variables around it, and that's what it revolves around. So you're gonna need a good foundation regardless. But there's a lot more variables, and I don't want to get into all that because we can sit here all day talking about that shit. But other than that, this was what the training was. This is the Mentzer experience, and it's a beautiful thing. It's an amazing thing. I'm not gonna sit here and say I know everything about it because I don't. It's like Mike Mentzer had a good amount of books, and I'm still reading some of his books. But I can honestly say all the praise to Mike Mentzer. The man was 100% right. He's one of my great idols now, and I respect him the utmost. I really wish I could shake his hand if he was here. And I wish a lot more people would listen to him rather than shit on him for what something that they haven't even tried or hadn't even tried yet or tried to even put themselves in. Just like that's how people are. They like to shit on things that they hadn't even tried yet because they want to just be a part of this social group, which is some pussy shit. And I'm gonna just say that with 100% honesty. It's just like you're a fucking coward without even trying it yet. I don't care. I'm gonna speak my mind on it. I don't care how you feel about it. But correct me if I'm wrong in anything I said, and I'll admit that I'm wrong because that's just how I am. If anything offended you or something like that. But other than that, yeah, this is about it. This was a great experience, and I really would do it again. And what will I be doing after this is what you might be asking. Well, I'm going to be on a bit of a hiatus right now. I'm still going to be stretching. I'm going to be trying to make more videos with stuff and everything because I have something that I've been working on that has to do with this whole thing. I think even before I started with the whole Mike Mentzer and I really tried to delve deep into it, I already knew that I was going to do this. And this just out of the fucking blue correlated exactly with what the hell I'm doing. So this works out perfectly, this whole experience. Like actually a blessing. But what I'm going to be doing now is, if you watch my earlier videos, if you've been here, probably not, then you're going to I said something about my hip. I have a lateral hip shift, a lateral pelvic tilt, which isn't good. Like, kind of my body it's kind of like a line, and it kind of, I'm not trying to show off my form, and it kind of like crooks. Like one side of my body is higher than the other, and one side of my body is lower than the other. And I have some really big things that I like to do in the future, and I have to take care of this first. And I'm not trying to get hurt, and especially end up like Ronnie Coleman or somebody in the future where I'm just completely fucked. Like I still want to walk around in the future, man. And I have to fix this first, and I am going to do that. But I'm still going to be doing like very low condition training and stuff like that, and just really focusing on my body awareness even more and stuff, and try to fix myself because it gets pretty painful at times, especially when I sleep and it gets uncomfortable and I'm tired of it. So that's what I'm really going to be doing more at a time. But I'm not going to be doing any super heavy training for a good little time. It's like I gotta do what I gotta do first, especially if I wanna stay in the long run. It's like I'm not trying to kill myself now. But just like I said before, that's where muscle memory comes into play. I know I'm going to be fine, and I know I'm going to be all right. As long as I keep those same ranges of motion that I like to keep and other ranges of motion, I will be fine. It's like I'm not going to lose my strength. Just eat good and stay in tune. Do my cardio and shit like that, and I'll be fine. But yeah, other than that, respect to Mike Mentzer, man. Respect to him. Much respect. That man's a true blessing to me and true blessing on many of those who actually realized what he was talking about. And he his ideas and he himself means a lot to me. If you read his books, a lot of the he didn't give into bullshit. He stayed by him. He stayed in his own realms, and he never sold himself out for a check or anything. He believed in his beliefs, and the proof is in the pudding. Look at his body. That is a man's man. That's truly a manly man. What you all aspire to be, what you believe to be, that is a true man is in his essence. And don't try to shit on me and say like, yeah, he done like we all had bad moments, but I almost said so. We almost had bad moments. We all had bad moments, and we all need some redemption, and that's life. All right, we all make mistakes. You go shit on a man for making mistakes for your rest of his life because you don't want to believe and resting for 4 days because it hurts you that bad. I mean, all right, but I know who's the real winner. I know who's the real OG in the picture. Is him. So yeah, that's basically it for the Mentzer experience as of now. And thank you all for whoever tuned into this. And I really appreciate anybody who commented or anything or just sat there and watched it. And that really means a lot to me. And I thank you all. And I respect you all for whoever stayed on the journey with me or just watched one video at least, whatever. It's amazing that I could make something like this, and I'm glad. So I was just trying to keep more stuff coming, but if life gets in the way, then it gets in the way. You know how it is. But thank you. Uh, my name is Joshua J. Vito, and I end off with this message. Peace.